What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Forgo, and today this is going to be a bit of a rant video because we're going to be talking about these BS stones that they are letting us craft and the ones that we're getting from the Rush event. Now, in the Rush event, there's not a problem with the type of stones that they are. The problem is it's a mystery box. You don't know what the hell you're going to get, which is a bunch of crap. You also only get 2 of these stones. Now, people say they're rubies or they spend an insane amount of money. I mean, I spent over $400 on this update. I know people that spend over $500 or even more trying to max out these BS characters because we know they're super OP. But one of the things that makes them super OP is these ridiculous stones. For example, this stone here, when maxed out level 10, that first stat is increased attack by 10%. The second one increases boss engine fire blast skill damage. That goes up to 10% or 15%, I think. And then they increase boss engine fire attack by 10%. And then they got the one for strike skill damage, right? And then they offer these HP ones. What? No. The original boss syndrome fighter stones are all attack. These are the stones that we got whenever we first got these characters. Look at that. That is attack. And then you got increased boss syndrome fighter blast skill damage by 15%. Then the next one, increase attack. Increase boss syndrome fighter strike skill damage by 15%. When BS Orochi and BS Rugal originally arrived in the game, these are the stones that were given to us whenever we awakened them. You'd awaken them to 1 star, you get 1 stone. You awaken them to 2 stars, you get 2 stones. You awaken them to 3 stars, you get 3 stones. And my question to Netmarble is, why didn't you queue this up? Not only did you make this freaking box a mystery box, which I think is just absurd, you are also only giving people 2 of them. Now, some of you might be saying, well, Forgo, you could craft your stones. Ah, touche, my friends. Yes, you can. You can craft your stones. Let's take a look at these stones. Let's take a look at these babies. So here we have this stone here. Notice there's a strike skill damage. That closed fist, that means strike skill. Now look at this stone. This is HP. It increases strike skill damage up by, and I think this is going to go up to 10%. I'm not really sure. I haven't leveled one of these up. And then it increases attack type fighter. Here's the thing about this. This is also a freaking mystery box. You don't know what you're going to get. And right now, you know, for the BS characters anyways, you don't have to use these on BS characters, but for the BS characters, you have a blue in Rugal, you have a green in Geese and Orochi, and you have a yellow in Chrysler. Those are the only BS characters that we have. And if you're getting these stones for those characters, well, you're going to get pretty screwed because 1, you don't even know what color you're going to get. You might get a purple. If you get a purple, what the hell are you going to do? You're not going to be able to equip them on a BS character. You can equip them on another character, which we will be talking about, but you don't know what color you're going to get. You don't know if it's going to be increased to defense fighter, attack fighter. You don't know. The least they could have done was made this a selector. That's the least they could have done. And even if they did make it selector, it still would have been okay, but it wouldn't have been as good as it should be. I mean, really, you're going to take away BS Orochi's and BS Rugal's stones. All the people that are trying to get those characters and trying to get their stones can't. They can't get them. Now, how is that fair? Well, some people have this argument, well, if you were playing originally during the time when the BS Orochi and BS Rugal arrived, then it's only fair that you would be able to get the stones and the other people wouldn't. Well, what about the people that were playing when Orochi and BS Rugal arrived and they only got 1 memory? You know, not everybody's luck is the same. Not everybody's got $400, $500, $600 or more dollars to spend in the game. And in my opinion, when they do things like this, it sends the wrong message to the community. And it also sets a bad precedence. This is terrible, guys. This is not good at all. And it really shouldn't be accepted. So if you don't use these stones on the BS characters, right? Say you get a purple stone, right? And none of the BS characters are purple, right? Say you get a purple stone. Let's go to the purple characters here. Okay, so you can only have strike, you can only have blast, or you can only have a grab skill stone, right? That buffs up one of those types of damage. So let's say, for example, we just click on Vanessa here, right? We'll click on Vanessa. We'll take a look at her. Vanessa's got all strike skills. So the strike skill stone would actually work on her because it would actually buff her specials, her super, and all of her skills. So for a character like this, if you got a purple stone that actually buffed up attack TIE fighter, although you might get one that buffs up defense fighter, and then you're pretty much screwed when it comes to a character like Vanessa. But if you did get a purple attack, strike skill, this would be a really good character to put it on. However, that's not always going to be the situation. If you click on Ignatz, you have 2 strike skills, and then you got a blast skill, and then his default finisher is a blast skill, right? But then his regular finisher is a strike skill. And the other thing you have to keep in mind is, where are these characters applicable? You know, when you're thinking about where to put these stones, where are these characters useful? Are they useful in Guild Raid? Because are they useful in Immortal Dungeon? Are they useful in Spider Robot? Because the thing is, when you're thinking about where these characters are useful, you want to think about, are you going to be spamming their skills? Because if it's a game mode where you're going to be spamming their skills more often than using their default and supers, then you want to put those stones on characters that have matching type skills. So if I have a strike skill stone, I would want it on a character that has at least 2 strike skills on there out of the 3 active skills, right? If it's a character with grab, then I'd want, 2 skills with grab out of 3. That way you're getting more benefit or more bang for your buck out of those stones per character. So for example, if I click on Hotaru here, right? First of all, you need a purple stone that bumps up defensive fighters. But Hotaru here, she's got a blast. She has a blast skill. And the way to know blast, strike, and grab is blast has this little arrow pointing down that has the red tint next to it. Strike is a closed fist, and grab has an open hand with a red tint around it. So Hotaru here has a lot of strike skills. Her second and third skill are strike skills, and then her default and her super are both with strike skills. So the strike skill stone would actually work on her as long as it's bumping up a purple defensive fighter. There's a lot of RNG with them stones. You just don't know what you're going to get. And they aren't that bad as stones if you equip them on the right characters. So you got to think about where you're going to use these characters. If you're using them in Guild Raid, depending on how you play, like the way that I play Guild Raid, I spam my skills. I spam those skills like crazy. So for example, if I was using Orochi Iori, if I can find him, here we are. Orochi Iori has a lot of strike skills. Yes, his first skill is blast, but against Guild Raid, I use his 5PG. I don't spam his skills. So what I'm looking for is to make sure his 5PG, I want to know what kind of skill it is. And it's actually a strike skill. So because it's a strike skill, I'd want strike skill damage on him because that's the one that's going to buff him up the most, right? And you can mix and blend them. You could have a strike skill stone and a blast skill stone on him, right? But the thing is, then you're going to have to get 2 yellow stones, 1 strike, 1 blast. And in the end, they got to be attack TIE fighters. They got to apply to attack TIE fighters. There's so much RNG with these stones. The fact that they made all of these damn things mystery boxes is really just bullshit. They should at least made all of these stones selectors at the minimum. But no, they just want to screw everybody. And earlier when I was talking about setting a bad precedence, what this does now is every new player that comes to this game and they start playing this game and they're trying to get the BS characters, all the old BS characters, you're not going to be able to get their stones. If this is something that they're going to do in the future, you're not going to be able to get their original stones, which in my opinion devalues them a little bit. And it sets a terrible precedence for the game. New players are going to think to themselves, well, why would I want to, I'm always going to go for the new BS characters because at least during a new BS banner like Nightmare Geese and Chrysalid, you can actually get their stones right now. And I understand this is a way for Netmarble to make money. I understand that in their mind, they're thinking, well, if the player knows that they can only get the original BS stones during an actual BS banner, then they're going to be more motivated to spend money and try to at least get 3 memories so that way they could awaken the character to 3 stars. That way they could get all 3 of those stones. And that is a motivating factor. But in my opinion, I think what would be more motivating and give more incentive is if you give us a way to always get the BS stones, the original BS stones for these characters. Don't be giving people the freaking shaft in this craft crap where you don't even know what kind of stone you get. I mean, you got the blast stones here. These things are only good for characters with blast skills. And again, you got to think about where to use the characters. If you're using them in the Immortal Dungeon, you're going to be using characters that spam their skills. So you want to be looking at characters that have, multiple blast active skills. If you're using a character in Guild Raid, and depending on how you play them, maybe you're spamming them, maybe you don't. That's the thing, And if you guys want a bit of a guide on where to put these stones, where to put the strike, the blast, and the grab skill stones on which characters, then I can do that for you. But this video was really more of just a mini rant about the fact that they made all of this RNG, about the fact that they took away the original BS Orochi and Rugal stones, which actually, in my opinion, devalues them a little bit. They're still going to be insanely strong, right? They're still going to be insanely strong. You still got double attack stones and other stones that you can equip on them, obviously. But these stones are not as good as them. None of these have that double attack. I mean, yeah, they're okay, but then none of them have double attack, which is a bunch of crap. So I'm very disappointed in the fact that they did this. I'm disappointed in the fact of the way they approach this. So now every time in my Discord or in the community, whenever a new BS, whenever we're during these collabs or during these banners, I'm going to be like, hey man, you're really going to want to get these characters to 3-star so that way you can get the original BS stones, because in the past, they screwed all the players and took away and didn't give us the original BS stones whenever the next banner came around, which is a bunch of bullshit. So Netmarble, I think you need to rethink what you're doing here. I think you need to give everybody the opportunity to get the original BS stones in the rush event. If you're going to have a rush event and burn all of our AP, which you have been doing relentlessly lately, give us the option. At least let us choose the stone that we want. So that way we can make a better judgment of what characters we want to build with these certain stones. This is a bunch of crap, honestly, man. 2 stones at random and you don't even know what you're going to get. I can tell you for all of the characters, you want attack stones. You want these babies right here. You don't want freaking defense. You don't want defensive stones. You don't want these HP stones. Why would you want that? You want more damage. You want attack. None of the BS characters so far are defensive characters. None of them have attack based off defense. So you're going to want attack stones. This has been tested. I have tested this repeatedly. And the fact that this is RNG is just a bunch of bullshit. So Netmarble, get rid of the RNG. Let us choose the stones we want. Give us 6 stones in the rush event, or allow us to pick the stones that we want in the craft system instead of not knowing what color we're going to get or what type of fighter that we're going to get it for. It's just way too much RNG. And I had to make a video about this. I actually wanted to for the last couple of days because this really irks me. And I really think it's a bunch of bullshit. I'm someone that has BS Rugal and BS Orochi fully maxed out. I have those characters completely leveled up, completely maxed out. And I still don't think it's fair that all the new players coming in this game, you have all these players that just came in from 7 Deadly Sins that can't get the original BS characters. Not to mention all the people that have been with this game since the very beginning, or maybe free to play and maybe only got 1 memory or 2 memories if they were lucky and they didn't get a final stone or they didn't get the last 2 stones. Netmarble, you pretty much screwed all of them. And that puts a sour taste in all of our mouths. So I just wanted to give my thoughts about the imprint stone system. Again, if you guys need a video about the card crafting stones, I'll be happy to do that for you. So let me know how you're all feeling about the imprint stones. Let me know what characters you've gotten, what cards you've gotten, and I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT plus 7 time, Sunday through Thursday. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.